Welcome back to your Friday News. I'm Dr. DeGrazia.
And I'm Jordan Atkins.
Congratulations to all students who made it on time every day second semester. The No Tardy Party is Monday at all lunches. Show your invitation at the door. Pizza lunch will be provided, and there will be raffles to win more prizes. Special shout out to Ms. Dudes for organizing the event.
Thank you to everyone who participated in the Student Council fundraiser, Tape the Teacher. It was a fun way to raise money for prom, and here are all some of the highlights.
All right, just catch your, a little slower. All right, Hoffman. All right, don't yank it. All right, who's getting bigger? Hit us again. Watch out. Woo! Thank you, teachers.
Materials check is upon us for all students. All calculators and books must be returned in the media center. You are keeping Chromebooks for the summer.
We had a great chance to interview Mr. Grant. Here's a look at the video.
Alright, hi, I'm Ethan Doherty with BEast News, and I'm here with Mr. Grant, our hall monitor, and we're just going to do a little interview and get to know him a little better. So how's your life as the DEA? What'd you do there?
Wow, jumping right into DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, of course.
Yeah.
DEA, it's a federal agency,
Right.
United States federal government, so it's a very engaging
Yeah.
occupation.
Yes.
It's such a way to kind of get after drug traffickers around the world, which was near and dear to my heart, 'cause
Yeah.
I've seen some of what drug trafficking in various amounts, quantities, and kinds of drugs that affect,
Yeah.
the young people and
Yeah.
students and parents and, everybody,
Right,
in our country. So it's near and dear to my heart. I think it's a very noble cause. So for me, early on, I started out in Florida.
Okay.
And Florida in the 80s was kind of the Wild West as far as that goes.
Right.
All you got to do is turn on the TV and watch some old shows. And then in the DEA with the U.S. federal government, you transfer around a little bit. So part of the job is I had assignments in Washington, D.C., Miami, of course, Chicago, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Detroit, Afghanistan. And while you're doing that career, you get involved in a lot of operations and investigations around the world. So your travel includes places and sources of supply countries, kind of like Bogota, a lot of places in South America, Central America, and of course we hit Europe and Southeast Asia. So it's a very global career.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any experiences, when you're say you had a certain experience that was really wild?
Yeah, the whole career, it's a great career because you get to be so creative as far as conducting these investigations.
Right.
Because the drug traffickers are very creative and try to avoid detection. So as an investigator, you got to get after it and match wits with them. So I'd say probably one of the coolest operations that I was involved with was when I was in Chicago. And in Chicago, I did a good 2 years of undercover with primarily Italians and an organized crime family, which was dealing in a lot of drug trafficking at the time, and it involved a lot of Chicago police officers who were corrupt. So that was a very unique, very intense investigation. Wiretaps, where you listen to the bad guys' phones, and you do a lot of surveillance, and you pull garbage from locations, and you, especially when you're undercover now, you meet with some of the highest level drug traffickers, and you get to eat in some fancy restaurants. You get to run around in some undercover apartments and have some undercover vehicles and credentials. So that was a long-term investigation, which most DEA investigations are. And that was probably where I had the most fun, and I think we took out a really nice drug trafficking organization, which was led, the source of supply on that was Chapo Guzman, which a lot of people have heard about.
Yeah.
He is currently in a U.S. maximum security federal prison. So
Wow.
that was fun.
Yeah. So you undercover? Did you have to change your hairstyle? Like,
Part of
like,
that's a
did you
funny.
put
That's a
like,
good
wig on,
question. Good question, because you know, a lot of undercover is kind of involving a gift of gab, some acting.
Right,
You're
yeah,
basically
you
a
know.
spy. You're trying to portray yourself as a mid-level, upper-level drug trafficker to these drug traffickers. So you have to know the game. You have to be able to talk. You have to be able to make kind of key decisions on, you know, drug trafficking right there while you're talking to the bad guy. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Any DEA agent, that's part of the job. So in my 36 years, I'd say 15 years of that was a lot of undercover.
Wow.
And then you get into
Yeah, that's
management,
very
you do
cool.
other things
Yeah.
because there's a lot of writing involved. All this stuff has to be documented. So there's a lot to it.
All right, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So switching up a little
Yeah.
bit, how did you end up back in South Lyon? You know, want like the hall monitor?
Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
another good question. You know, part of being back in South Lyon is easy because DEA agents transfer around.
Okay.
So I mentioned all my assignments. One of my last assignments, actually, you know, kind of coming out of Afghanistan, was a domestic location here in the United States where I'd finished my career, and my wife and I chose Detroit because we're from Royal Oak, so we wanted to come home,
Right.
basically. And that's how we ended up back here in South Lyon when we're coming back for our home search to live. South Lyon is kind of where we landed. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. It's a nice community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did the softball coach?
Softball.
Yeah.
So I
where
got
did,
in
where
there.
did the
Yeah.
love of softball
Yeah,
come
yeah.
from?
Well, the love of softball for sure. You know, we all have kids. You know, even DEA agents
Yeah.
have children.
Yeah.
So we, you know, I had a daughter that plays softball and my son too. So they were all involved in sports, and softball is a great sport. You know, my daughter went off to play college ball. So during the course of that, I would coach in different parts of the country. And then when I came to South Lyon, actually, Coach Duncan was a teammate of my daughter's
Oh,
back
really?
in college. So
That's cool.
she said, hey, you know, we're trying to get the program started at South Lyon East. So it's about 5 years ago now. And I said, sure, I'll come over. And I was the head coach of the junior varsity softball.
Okay.
And then this year I'm assistant coach with the varsity program. And this is my last year
Okay.
because
Wow.
I am a retired guy
Yeah.
and I got to get out and golf more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about you guys. And, you know, this is a real nice community. It's a real nice school.
Yep.
We've got a great staff here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
you
students
guys
love
are
seeing you in the
great people.
hallways.
Well, I
so.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, we'll leave you off this year, leading into next. Students' registration will take place late summer. Here's the information about that.
And be sure to check out the fall trial schedule for sports online. We have that to cover for you at beast.org.
That's it for this year. Take care, Cougs, and have a good summer.
So, like...